America is facing the judgment of God as we sit around this table. Look at the weather. Look at the world turning down on her. America is bankrupt. $13 trillion in debt. And if you figure Medicare and Medicaid, she's over $60 trillion in debt. She can never pay it. That's why she voted for $650 billion in armament, because she can't pay the debt. But she can bully those whom she is in debt to with fear over her military prowess.
Everything that is happening right now in America, it's either judgment, God's judgment, it's either the truth is finally coming out, because when you build your empire on top of lies, it cannot stand for long. And that's why you hear words like America is falling, American empire is falling. It's not the first time for an empire to fall. A lot of empires that build their empire on lies, empires that build their wealth on the back of black people, all of them fell. Starting with Rome, it fell. Britain fell. The France, the Europe countries' empires, the Europe empires that were built from the sweat and blood of enslaved black people, colonized countries, all of them fell down. So America will not be the first one, but it is happening so fast. And me saying God of black people is punishing white America day after day, I'm going to talk around about historical justice, how the oppression, slavery, segregation, and systematic racism that white America built is now hunting them down. What they did to black America, what they did to black people is coming back to back as a national instability. Again, I talk about gun violence and chaos. On my previous episode, I've talked about that, gun violence. Because white America blamed black communities for violence, but now mass shooting, crime, and political assassinations are everywhere. They are overwhelming white spaces. When I talk about punishment from God, I talk about economic collapse. I talk about cultural decline. I talk about spiritual side. There's a number of things that make me think that the God of black people is punishing America. He's doing that through Donald Trump, DJT. All the signatures DJT is putting down is causing chaos. For centuries, they told black people that they were cursed. They told us that we were cursed. They told us that we are less, and they built their world on our backs, on the backs of black people, on the backs of enslaved Africans. But today, my brothers and sisters, it's very clear. It's not black people who are cursed, not us. We ain't the one who are cursed, but it's them, because everything they thought will keep them in power is collapsing, starting with their economy, their politics, their culture, their families, their influence. You know, it's like, I may say, it's not happening by accident. It's like judgment. And there's a lot of white preachers have talked about that. Judgment, about payback, about punishment. And it's written in history and sealed in spirit. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. But before I go down into my video, I want to watch these clips, then we come back and we talk more.
The next layer is realizing that there is no escaping the consequences of your history, and realizing that those consequences are in fact being imposed upon you right now, especially in America. You're descending into madness because you're cursed. That's why I've said you cannot properly analyze geopolitics. You cannot properly analyze geopolitics if you exclude the reality of divine justice. You cannot exclude God from your assessments. You can't exclude Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from your forecasts. And you cannot be as unjust, as brutal, as degenerate, as wicked as America has been, and actually think that the consequences are not going to be severe. You understand? The suffering of whole continents at your hands is going to ricochet back onto America. I said you're cursed. You know it and I know it. That's the truth. We both know this. Because you can't have any sort of religious sense, any religious sense of justice, and not know that. Even if you call yourself a Christian, if you call yourself believing in God in any way whatsoever, you cannot pretend that you don't know that America is cursed, and it has been cursed ever since you all landed over there in the first place and started massacring the indigenous people and stealing their land. What your Zionist brigades are doing to the Palestinians right now is just a fraction of what you did to the Native Americans. What Hitler did was a fraction of what you did, in fact. And you really think that you were going to be able to escape the consequences of that? Of course not. Obviously not. Why do you even think for a minute that you could escape the consequences of decimating millions upon millions of people? To think that you would get away with that, wallahi, to even think that you could get away with that, to even think that you would never be held accountable for that is blasphemy. It's blasphemous for you to think that you could get away scot-free, especially when you have never even done anything ever since then except to compound the wrongdoing and to add to your record of crimes. You understand me? You have done nothing to atone. You haven't done anything to atone for what you have done. You and I both know that. Genocide, chattel slavery, rape, torture, lynching, murder, dehumanization, discrimination, segregation, exploitation, subjugation, war all around the world. Why, what sort of a God do you worship that would turn a blind eye to all of that? What kind of a God did you have in mind when you say, God bless America? Because I know you're not talking about the God. I know you're not talking about the creator of the universe. Bless America for what? Bless America for what? If you did what you did and then say, God bless America, that's just another blasphemy. Well, you're taking the Lord's name in vain when you say, God bless America. That's the truth. You can't invoke God to bless what he has prohibited. You can't invoke God to bless what he punishes, to bless what causes his wrath. You have been worshiping someone else entirely, something else entirely. You have taken a whole other being as your God. If you actually think that your actions merit any sort of blessing, no one would bless what you have done as a nation except Iblis. No one would approve of what you have done except for the devil himself. That's why I told you that, and why you need to know. You need to understand this about your society. The West has been worshiping the jinn. They've been worshiping the shayateen ever since prehistory, like I said. And that formed the whole character, the whole ethos of their so-called civilization. You can't properly understand the West if you don't understand that. Honestly, you can't be dismissive about that. And like I said last time,
I just watched the video of Charlie Kirk and saw how much blood he lost from his neck. And it doesn't matter if you agreed with everything that Charlie said. This man was a father. This man was a husband. This man was a voice for God. He spread the gospel to more people than any of us ever will. And he was a voice for our nation. He was a voice for the common American. And whether you agreed with everything he said or not, right now America is broken. We are a broken people. We are scared. We are divided. And we are spiritually dead. And that's right where the enemy wants us. He wants us to hate each other. He wants it so black versus white, left versus right, conservative versus liberal, that's all we think about. America is broken. May God help America.
America will be punished by God himself, because America at the moment is challenging the existence of God. That's why America will fall, and there is no escape from it. It's a matter of time. But America is going down, and we're going to see in the next two verses. It's going down. Because whoever challenges Jesus Christ of Nazareth must go down. Must. Egyptian Empire, gone. Babylonian Empire, gone. The Assyrian Empire, gone. Persians and Medes, gone. Alexander the Great, Macedonian Greek Empire, gone. The Roman Empire, gone. All gone. Why? Because they challenged God. And this God, his name is Jesus Christ of Nazareth. So let's read verse 20. Verse 20 comes the time of heaven finally. From 9 to 19, nothing, no mention of heaven. Verse 20 talks about heaven. Look at this. Rejoice over her, O heaven, and you holy apostles and prophets, for God has avenged you on her. Her here refers to the UN, i.e. United States of America. Rejoice over her, O heaven, and you holy apostles and prophets, for God has avenged you on her. We saw previously kings of the earth mourned over the fall of America, over her. We saw merchants mourn the fall of America. We saw shipmasters, i.e. sea trades, mourn over the fall of America. We saw all of them. They all mourned, kings, merchants, sea trades, shipmasters, all mourned the fall of America. But when it came to heaven, heaven rejoiced. Heaven rejoiced. Because God must be glorified. Must be. Must be glorified. But heaven rejoiced. Now why heaven rejoiced? Because America fell.
Listen to me today. What is happening in Israel is no happen chance. God has been speaking and telling us what was coming for a very long time. Brothers and sisters, listen to the word of the Lord. In the book of Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 5, he said to others, go through the city and smite, and let not your eyes spare, neither let them have pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Brothers and sisters, we are seeing it. We are seeing it. We are seeing the devastation that's going on in Israel. Brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, wake up. This is coming on the soil of America. The same thing that you just seen take place there is coming here. Exactly. The attack will be suddenly. It will be more than likely at night when we are sleeping. The attack will come from the north, and it will come where they will be cruel and they will show no mercy. They will go through the city. They will take captive men, women, boys, and girls, and they will slay. They will not show any type of mercy in accordance with Ezekiel chapter 9. But God has been speaking this over and over. Brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, if nothing else wakes you up, let what's happening in Israel wake you up. And you know what? I want to ask you a question today. Who are you listening to? Who are you hearing the gospel from? Is it just the tickling of the ear gospel? Is it just the entertaining of the flesh gospel? Or is it what God is speaking right now in this hour to those that have an ear to hear what the Spirit is speaking unto the church? And it is not all bells and whistles and cotton candy. Okay? I want to tell you, wake up. Put on the whole armor of God. Get yourself in right alignment with what God is saying in this hour and what He is calling us to do. Okay? God bless each and every one of you. You know I love you. But I'm telling you, this is an hour to be very, very, very sober. Be very sober. Be very sober.
Grand Rising, my brothers and sisters from Africa and across the ocean, from Caribbean, everywhere you are watching me from, and whoever loves my content, thank you so much for the love and support. And I love you so much. For those who are sending super thanks, thank you so much. You are the one who continue to push me to do this work. Because now, let me begin with the foundation of America. The lie of white superiority and the hidden truth, because we cannot talk about punishment without talking about why are they being punished. White America built its empire on the lie of superiority, supremacy, and they told the world that they were the chosen ones. Personally, as a black person, personally as an African, personally as a Kenyan, by the way, I have believing this for a long time. I believed America is chosen country. I believed for very long time that Americans are the chosen people. When I was in primary school, I was in a certain private school that was sponsored by white people, and these white people are coming, I think, from Italy, German, something, America. I'm not so much sure. It's long time ago. It's more than around 204, 205 when I was in primary school, in class 4. In 204, primary 4. We were seeing white people coming in our school with little gift like balls, pencils, books, some instruments, music instruments, the small ones. And we were like, these are God's people. They are God sent. These are angels. And we were looking at white people and we were like, God damn it. Little did I know Africans can do that too. Little did I know they have oppressed us to believe that without them we cannot survive. It was a lie that was built, that without them we cannot. The superiority they put in the minds of the children of Africans, children of black people, for us to believe they are the kings and queens. Little did I know that black people are the kings, are the descendants of kings and queens. Little did I know that you as a black American, me as an African, we are descendants of great researchers, inventors, innovators. And let me tell you, they erased African history, they banned libraries, they destroyed kingdoms and rewrote textbooks just to paint themselves as gods. But the truth could not stay buried forever because it is raining. When you bury something and comes heavy rain, definitely the soil will be loose and things that you buried, the skeleton will start rising up because you cannot bury it forever. You can't. They have tried to hide the lies, but it's now revealing itself day after day. They said they were right doing slavery. They said segregation was their law. They said black people had no culture, we have no future, no intelligence. But today, let me tell you for a fact, they are the ones drowning in confusion. Their young people are rejecting their own culture and embracing black culture. What is that? They are embracing blackness. See, in music, in fashion, in identity, the churches are collapsing. They're collapsing. While black spirituality is rising, their families are breaking, while our unity of black people is strengthening, even if they are trying so hard to break the unity. But day after day, we are strengthening our unity. The lie of white superiority, it's dead. And what happens when the lie dies? Judgment falls on their liar. Judgment falls on the liar. Now, America told the world black people are violent. They have been saying this yet. They said you are the problem. And they called us criminals. Okay. They created a mass incarceration. They told police to shoot in the streets just openly. But when you look at America right now, every single day there's a shooting. Just recently, a public figure, the people who loved him, Charles Kirk, he was shot. And he was one of the people who was like, I endorse this, I endorse this. And this is not coincidence. This is a divine punishment. They created a system of violence and now they are trapped in that system. The God of black people is showing them what you created for us, what you planted for us. You will somehow test it yourself. Test and tell us, have you put enough sugar? Have you put enough salt? So if you planted poison on us, then when you test it, just know it will not be good with you. It won't be good with you. Now, another thing I've talked that have made me say it's punishment is the economy. We have been believing the economy is good of America, and each and every white, black people or Africans have been running their country to go in America because they believe when you are there, everything is okay. But do you know America became rich? I know a lot of people who are watching know this. Let me tell those who don't know, because I have a number of Africans who don't know. America became rich not because they worked so hard. America became rich not because they had favor of God, but because they enslaved our ancestors. They enslaved our ancestors. The cotton, sugar, tobacco, all of it came from black sweat and blood. And this cotton, sugar, and tobacco, it was the one that created the wealth of America, the economic wealth of America. Even after slavery, they created Jim Crow. They did not let black people go. Redlining, discrimination. Tell me, for centuries, America told us that if you just work hard, put your head down, everything gonna be okay. Just work hard, you will catch up with us. But the truth is they never worked hard. The truth is they wanted black people not to catch them up. The truth is the system was designed to keep black people down. Because if you are educated, it can never help you to catch them up. Now, when you look around today, the wealth is crumbling. It's reality. America is drowning in debt. Families cannot pay rent. Their children cannot pay school debts. The middle class is disappearing. Farmers are crying. because the land is falling. Even white billionaires are fighting each other while the average white workers are suffering. This is not just an economic crisis. This is a punishment. The same system that fed off black people's blood and sweat, black people's labor, is now eating itself alive. And here's the truth. They don't want to admit this truth, that black people warned them. Black people told them that a system built on exploitation cannot last forever. Black people told them that justice always comes, and now as the economy collapses, as inflation rises, as businesses are being shut down, it's the time for black people to rise. Because we are witnessing the downfall, and we already knew how to jiggle and mingle. Black people knows how to mingle in every situation. Look at the political chaos that is there. Right now we have political chaos. We cannot deny that. White American leaders are fighting each other. Who is behind the shooting of Charlie Kirk? We don't know yet. But I smell something fishy. The politics of America right now, it is chaos. Their leaders cannot agree on anything. The elections are full of division. Even aftermath election is full of division. Parties are at war with each other. They are pointing fingers at each other. Back then, they used to point at Africa and say that we are unstable. Africans, they used to laugh at the coups and political differences, instabilities, and unrest in the African nations. But now it is on their doorstep. Their democracy is broken. I've come across videos where white people, some were saying that Africa cannot govern themselves. Africa politics is blah, blah, blah. Now look at right now, white America. Look at what is happening. Black people right now are rising, gaining political power, winning election, and building influence. The stone they rejected is becoming the cornerstone. And the stone they threw at us, we are using it to build. And they are looking at each other like they threw a lot of stones at us. They don't have stones to build their country. And that's how the empire will fall. What we are seeing is not politics as usual. It is divine justice unfolding itself day by day. It's punishment that's going on. Now, kings and queens, we must also look at the culture of white America. For years, white America mocked black culture. They called our music noise, our fashion, they say it is ghetto, they say our language is broken. But today, their children are dancing to our beats. Their children are wearing our clothes. Their children are speaking the slangs of black people. Just look from TikTok dances to global fashion. Black culture is the world culture right now. And white culture, it is fading. And nobody, even, they don't have culture. Nobody looks at them as trendstar anymore. Nobody follows the tradition of the white people, white America. They are, sorry to say, but I'll say this, they are desperate to stay relevant right now, but they cannot. Why? Because the God of black people is elevating blacks while dismantling them. And this is not just entertainment, this is a shift of spiritual power. For centuries, they controlled the image of beauty, intelligence, and success, and they told us that whiteness was the standard. They came up with bleaching industries to make sure you believe that being white is top-notch, is the best. But now the world is realizing that black is beauty, black is power, black is genius, black is supernatural power, and the system is collapsing not only politically and economically, but cultural too. And every day, children move further away from them and closer to black people. I can bet on that. That's a divine punishment. When you look at spiritual sides, it is something to talk about. Again, because white America tried to give us their version of God, the white Jesus. They gave us paintings of white Jesus. They gave us churches that told us forgive but never fight back. And they told us that our African spirituality was evil while theirs was holy. We believed that. But here's the truth, my people. The real God never abandoned black people. He was with us in the farms, in the ships, during colonization, in the chains, and he's still there. He never abandoned us. The God who stood with black people is the same God who stood with Moses against Pharaoh. So he has always been on the side of blacks. And now the same God is punishing Pharaoh again. America is the symbols of Pharaoh. And the plagues are falling. Violence in their land, division in their politics, collapse in their economy, decay in their culture. They laughed at us back then. They mocked our prayers, our drums. The God of black people was preparing judgment, and today it is clear. They are not blessed, they are cursed. The blessings are shifting, and the punishment is being revealed day by day. My brothers, notice the world once upon a time was controlled by America. America controlled everything, from trade, politics, culture, even wars. But today, nations are running away. Africa is rising, building unity, refusing to bow down. Asia is doing the same thing. It is rejecting American influence. Even Latin America is rising, is resisting. The same arrogance that made white America think it could rule the world is now its downfall. And why is this happening? It is because the God of black people is moving history. It's because he is shifting the balance. He is removing the crown from their head and placing it where it's supposed to be, where it belongs. America thought it could dominate forever, but every empire that oppressed, every empire that enslaved, every empire that mocked God, they all fell. Starting with Rome, it fell. Babylon fell. Colonial empires fell. And America is no different. Every day their influence is shrinking. Every day their power weakens, and every day black people are rising in Africa, in Caribbean, in Europe, in America itself. And this is a reversal of history. This is divine justice playing out in real time. Family, look at what is happening right now inside white America. They used to point fingers at us. They used to point fingers at Africans. They used to point fingers at Caribbeans and say that we were broken. Even one was saying that our families were destroyed. I quote that from Charlie Kirk. They laughed at us, saying we had no fathers in our homes. Again, I quote from. But look now, white America is drowning in drug addiction, gun violence. Their town is filled with opioids. Their children are overdosing every single day. Suicidal rates is high. Even their families is breaking apart. Divorce, depression, hopelessness, it's all over their communities. And this too is punishment, because they tried to curse us with stereotypes, but the curse has returned to them. They could take that opportunity to repair what is between them, but they did not. They took that opportunity to mock black people. They said we were hopeless, but it is their teenagers who are crying out in pain. Every day the headlines show another overdose, another suicide, another collapse, and still they cannot see that this is a judgment. The God of black people is showing them what you mocked in us, I will magnify in you. And this was a prophetic warning. Black people told them, none of this should surprise America. Black people warned them. Our leaders warned them. Black people, leaders from Martin Luther King, warned about injustice. Malcolm X warned about the price of oppression. Name them, Louis Farrakhan. Even every day, black voices in the streets have been warning the violence, racism, and exploitation will destroy this nation. But they did not listen. Instead, they silenced us. They imprisoned black people and unalived black people and mocked them. And now, what black Americans warned them about is happening in their own backyard. Gun violence, economic collapse, family breakdown, political chaos, global isolation. They thought these were black problems, but now it is white reality. And the saddest part is that, instead of humbling themselves and seeking truth, many of them are still blaming black people, still pointing fingers, still trying to hide behind lies. I'll say this. While America is crumbling, let us build as black people. That's the only thing we can do. While their system falls, let us unite. While they are down in confusion, let us walk in clarity, because the God of black people is punishing white America day by day, but at the same time, he is blessing us day by day. You need to understand that. Tell me what you think on the next episode. Until we meet on the next episode, thank you, my beautiful kings and queens, for staying with me through the truth. I love you so much. I honor you, and I remind you this. Never believe the lies they told us. The God of black people is alive, and his justice is moving right before our eyes. Stay strong, and peace out.